the Rapala Wart V6 green shad. This is what we're painting today. You ready to run a gun? It's time for blast off. Let's go. Hey guys, Todd here with you. Welcome back to Bassin 101. The Storm Green Shad, color number V6. That's my favorite pattern, shad pattern, besides the blue with the purple coming right behind that. I just love all three of them, and I might do all three of them, I don't know. But just the green shad, just always admired that color pattern, and I thought it'd be really cool to do one of these on today's program for you. So, without further ado, let's go sling some paint and paint that dude. Okay guys, so what I've got here is this vintage early 70s Storm Sinker thin fin. But this is my favorite shad type pattern they did, which is the green. A very, very close second, and it was hard not to do this one too, is the blue. I love the blue and the green. Probably my third favorite would be the purple. But I want this on a wiggle wart. Now I've got some blanks here. These are Predator bass baits. These are suspending. I like the suspending warts because they're the heaviest that he offers, and you just have a little better sound to them. A little deeper sound. So I'm going to reproduce this. The colors you need for this, as you can see, I've already started with my white base coat. There's white. Then I'm going to shade excuse me, I'm going to shade the backs, or the back, and just down the side with black. And then we're going to screen it off. I'm going to hit it with silver. This is pearlized silver. Then pearlized lime, and then detail moss green, and then the usual yellow and the black. Excuse me. Man, sinuses today. So we're going to reproduce this. I'm going to go ahead and spray the black on here. Then we're going to let it dry really good. Then we'll scale net it off. Again, I'm spraying about 20 pounds of pressure. We're going to bring this about halfway. We're going to bring it right along the eyes. Just like that. Like I told y'all before, keep the gun pointed away from the lip. I like the overspray effect that these have, but you don't want to paint the whole entire lip. Unless you want to go vintage. Just about there. Okay, I'll catch the other two up because, like I said before, I've always paint 3 at a time. And I'm going to dry set that, and I'm going to let them sit for a little while to make sure they get really good and dry, because we're going to scale that, or we're going to wrap this in scale netting when it's everything said and done. Okay, one thing I forgot to mention is the UVA or UVLS clear in the gloss. I spray this over the baits and cure them in the dehydrator for about 15 minutes or so. Just make sure everything's good and dry, so when you're putting this stuff on, it's not going to scratch your bait up. So I have this done on each side, because wiggle wart's kind of hard to get, down the sides if you try to put the netting over the whole thing. So I just have this one side exposed, because if you look at this, see the silver scales go all the way down almost to the very bottom. And the silver is your backing for your colors. So we're going to take this, I'm going to put the silver on here, come almost all the way to the bottom. I'm going to heat set that, and we're going to do it again.
It's okay to go across the back because you're going to put the black stripe on there. I'll catch the other ones up and we'll go to the next step. Okay, next up is a pearlized lime green, and this is going to go right across this top right here. One more light coat. You don't want to do very much. Okay. Okay, so I changed up a little bit. I told you guys I was going to use the moss green. I did a sample run. You know, white spoons can be your best friend because I test my spray patterns on this. When I layer colors, make sure everything's going to match right. I end up going to the opaque light green and mix just a couple of drops in clear gloss. Actually, not the UVLS. I used yeah, that's what I used. I'm sorry. I got the bottles mixed up. This is what I used. Clear gloss right here with a couple of drops of the green just to give it a transparent effect. And we're going to just put a real light coat. Just take away some of that lime color. It'll still show that metal flake in there. All right, let these dry a minute, and then I'll take the screen off. Then when you take the screen off, that's what you get. Now don't worry about getting the bottom perfectly lined up centered, because you can always come back with white and even that out, which I will probably do. I mean, that's basically how they did here. They came back and hit the white over top of it. And then we'll do the black down the seam. Now, I'm going to coat this with some clear UV. I'll let that set. And I'll flip it over and it will screen that off and do the exact same thing on the other side. Okay, so now we got the other side taped off or scaled off. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. And again, like I said, don't worry about being even on the very bottom, because we'll come back and hit that with white just to even it all up. Okay, now it's time for the light green. So this is the lime green. Okay, and for the final step, I got that green mix loaded up again. Again, low pressure. Okay, we'll let these sit up for a couple of minutes and then we'll take this side off. These clips, I like these because these are coated and they do really good, plus you can grab a whole handful at one time, take them off. And I use a rubber band around the lip just to pull it tight. Doesn't matter if it binds up around the eye because you're going to cover the eye anyway. Let's see what we got here. Nice. Now, there's two ways you can do this. Okay, two ways you can do this kind of green. One is to lay the regular green or the light green first over the silver, and then come back with the pearlized green if you want a really bright yellowish kind of green. Or you can go backwards. You could put the pearlized down and then mix your real thin coat with clear. And this is really bright green, and you can kind of tone that down just a little bit. And that's kind of what I like. This resembles a lot of the patterns that we have in my area here in Virginia. So I kind of like this better. But you can also go reverse if you want to, because I've got several of these. That's pretty much right on it. I've got these greens and these thin fins and some other baits, and the greens are different in about every one of them. Some are darker, some are lighter. I find that interesting. So it kind of gives you a larger area to play with to do more colors that you like. But that black comes through there really nicely. And it feathers right into that. Now I'm pretty much even on this one. And I think that one could use a little white. And that one can use a little bit of white over here. So I think I'll do a white belly on these before I go any further. And that's going to be the next thing we're going to be shooting anyway. On second thought, let me do black first, and I'll show you what I'll do with that next. Okay, so for the next one we got, this is the black. Okay. Like I said, I'm keeping the gun away from the lip as I'm spraying this. Nice. Make sure I have these noses really good. All right, so we're good there. Okay, now we're going to go on to the white. Okay, so now we're going to take these. We're going to just make sure that the bottom is even. There we go. There we go for that one. Looks good. Okay, so I still have the white loaded up. We have our template on here, our little stencil. I'm just going to put down white base for the eyes. And there you go. Okay, we got our yellow loaded up. And now we're going to do the eyes again. Heat set. One more coat. See what we got. Oh, we got a little running right there. That's okay, we'll fix that. I got a little too heavy right in there. We'll fix it. Okay, here's the stencil for the eyeballs. 2 quick passes, that's it. Okay. There you go. Let's see, I fixed a little issue right there. That's nice. Now I have to be careful because this kind of forms around a little bit, so I have to be a little careful with that. But man, it turned out pretty good. Let's do another 2. Well, so there you are, guys. Green shad in a storm. Done put my decal on there. But everything's done. I'm going to have to do something different with these yellow eyes for my stencil, because I don't know, for some reason it's just not seating as good as it was first few times. So I might have to figure out something else to do about that. These are working out really good, so I'm going to keep those. But yeah, I have to try to figure out something to do with the other one. That's okay. That's all part of the fun of it. Like I said, the cool thing about these storms is you can either perfectly match the color, or you can do a slight variation of the color that you want. And I like this one here. It's a little bit more toned down than the other one. And I like that. That's going to go really good in my waters around here. So let's go back to the studio and I'll show you what this thing looks like once it's clear coated.
Like I said last time, man, the overspray is just awesome on those things. Number 2 split ring, black nickel split ring with number 6 short shank KVDs. And you're ready to go with this, dude. So, hope you enjoyed that little spray session. Planning on doing a whole lot more coming down the road. So until next time, may the Father bless you and keep you in Yeshua's name, and as always, fish on.